now, we have hazards. There are many hazards that you'll have to look out for whilst driving, so here's the lowdown on most of them. Now there's planetary hazards and faction-based hazards. First, planetary hazards. Before we start, there are patterns in the planets that I've noticed which I've taken to calling areas. Areas are certain zones of the map that are generated in a specific way that are similar or the same as other areas of the same type, even if it's on a different planet. An example of an area is what I've called the Rocky Ponds. It's characterized by ponds with rocks in and around them. Each mission map will typically be made up of two area types, with one being dominant and the other one being very sparse, usually around the edges of the map or dotted around it in clumps. Every planet type has 2 to 3 area types, which get mixed and matched for your missions. Some area types are shared across planets, even ones that aren't directly related, such as the Rocky Pond showing up on desert planets as well as lunar planets. Some planets have special features that don't fit into the definition of areas that I've laid out, like the rock spires on lunar planets. Most planets are essentially alts of each other, so I'm going to group them together. Some are more like siblings, in that they're the same with minor differences, and others are more like cousins, in that they're very similar in many aspects but different in others. I'll rate each planet as easy, normal, and hard. Easy planets are generally something beginners can easily work with. Normal planets require a higher level of skill or use of advanced strats like anti-flip to function well on. And hard planets require advanced strats and a high level of skill/awareness to consistently survive on. The last thing to note is that the community has come up with its own set of names for these planets called biomes, which I was unaware of when I wrote this script, and I won't use because most of the names aren't descriptive of the planets. Looking at you, Boneyard. Sure, there's bones, but that doesn't accurately describe what the planet type is like, so it's not helpful unless you're in the know. So yeah, I'm using my names. I'll have the community names on screen so you can search them if you'd like. First up, Rocky Planets. Rocky Planets are a generally low difficulty planet type with 2 different area types, which will be the main ones you'll see. The Rocky Fields and the Mushroom Fields. These areas are very similar and bleed into each other in most cases, but they are distinct. The Rocky Fields area has open fields with small rocks strewn throughout them, with occasional larger rock formations that have mushrooms around them. Mushrooms, if disturbed by being shot or by being ran over directly, will knock your car off balance, so try not to have them hit the side of your car. Overall, since the obstructions are few and far between, navigation in this area is very easy. The mushroom fields have far more densely packed formations of small rocks, ditches with mud in them which is slippery, and mushrooms are everywhere. This obviously makes navigation harder, but it's still within the beginner's range of difficulty. Before we move on, I noticed that big bushes spawn in this area alongside the mushrooms. So if you see bushes, then you know it's a mushroom fields area. The last main area type is the Rocky Spires, which feature tall rock spires that can be difficult to navigate with occasional non-area of interest bombs lodged in the side of them. These typically aren't the main area type of the map, but sometimes nearly the whole thing is this area, so be prepared for that possibility. The edges of the map on these planets can have normal terrain extend beyond the normal playable area, like on most planets, oceans with beaches or cliffs along one edge of the map, or it can spawn as an island which is completely surrounded by water with beaches. There are 2 regular variants of this planet which are almost identical. They both have the same areas, with the main difference between them being that the Rocky Meadow has rain as a modifier, which can majorly hurt visibility at night. And the Rocky Crimson has ion storms, which disable stratagems and the map. This can be a non-issue or a crippling detriment depending on the situation. Difficulty-wise, they both get easy, but the ion storm one will naturally make the red version of this planet a bit harder. There are 2 related planet types. The first is the Rocky Woodland, which is roughly the same as the prior 2, but it can't spawn as an island. Instead, it features trees, grass, and an occasionally blinding sun during sunrise. The trees only spawn in the rocky fields area, so it's far easier to notice if it's a mushroom fields or not. This one is on the same level of difficulty as the previous two. The scorching sand planets are the other related planet type. Now they may seem drastically different from the others, but they share the same base composition once you look closely. There's a rocky fields area, a mushroom fields area with dead shrubs rather than regular bushes, and a rocky spires area, all of which are formatted exactly the same as the other planets. There are, however, no islands, beaches, or cliffs on the edges of the map. Instead, it has dead trees, sandy terrain, and fire tornadoes as a modifier, which obstruct movement when active. You may think, I can just stem through a fire. This is true, but your car can also get set on fire. It's considered a big entity, so fire affects it more severely than you the player, to the point that being set on fire a few times will do the car in. As a result, driving through the fire tornadoes is not advised other than in emergency situations. Due to the slippery terrain coupled with the density of rocks, other flipping hazards, and fire tornadoes, I'd say this is a hard planet type which you should hold off on taking on until you're an experienced driver.